Hello and welcome to this week's STEM lesson called Planting Thoughts. How are plants similar to humans? Just like us, plants need food, water, and energy from the sun to survive and grow. These are the plant's basic needs because they are the essential things that they need to survive. As it turns out, we need many of the same things as plants to survive and grow. However, we also happen to need plants for food. And besides the plants that we eat, many other things that we eat must first eat the plants to survive and grow. Now, do you remember what a food chain is? Every food chain or food web starts with the sun, which gives plants the energy or fuel for photosynthesis. By the process of photosynthesis, plants make sugar and oxygen. For this reason, we call plants producers because they produce their own food using sunlight. Plants in turn become food for all other types of consumers, which are organisms that get their food by eating producers and other organisms. Decomposers, such as bacteria and fungi, eventually break down all of these living things, returning nutrients to the soil and atmosphere to use again. Engineers often use bacteria and plants to design things that help humans stay healthy. Some engineers use plants to treat dirty water and wastewater to make it clean for us to use as drinking water and tap water. In addition to taking in carbon dioxide and releasing oxygen, and taking in sunlight and producing food, plants also take in waste and bad stuff in water and break it down for us. You wouldn't want to drink a glass of dirty water. Engineers design water treatment processes as well as lagoons, which are large ponds filled with plants and bacteria to treat unclean water. Plants can also be used by engineers to clean dirty air, since they take in the air around them through their leaves and release clean oxygen back into the atmosphere. Other plants, such as grasses, shrubs, and trees, are specifically planted to clean up contaminated groundwater and soils. Now, there are many types of plants. The most recognizable plants are flowers, herbs, and trees. Now, a root is the part of the plant that usually grows downward into the soil. One main function of the root system is to anchor a plant firmly into the soil and support it during stages of growth. Now, this is known as fixation. Another function of the root is to absorb nutrients, water, salt, and minerals from the soil. This is referred to as absorption. Strong roots help plants remain healthy. If a root is diseased, then typically the entire plant is diseased as well. Some plants have a thick central root that has little or no branching, and we call these roots a taproot, similar to a carrot. Other plant roots have several tiny hairy-like roots reaching out from the stem. If they look like bunches or clusters, these would be called a fibrous root. Fibrous root systems are typical for grasses, radishes, and other underground vegetables. Sometimes plant roots make their way to the soil surface where they can be seen. These are called shoots. In many plants, these shoots turn into nearby new plants of the same kind. Some plants, such as orchids and cattails, that grow in marshes and wetlands have a different type of root called respiratory or airy roots. These plants do not typically root in soil, but grow on other living things. The leaves and roots take in nutrients and disperse them throughout the entire plant. A plant's stem draws the absorbed nutrients through capillary action and delivers it to the rest of the plant. Similar to humans, plants have a kind of circulatory system for this purpose. Some plants have rigid, stiff, and strong trunks or stems, while others are more flexible and bendable. The stems of some plants are too weak to be upright. Squash, watermelon, and pumpkin, they all grow horizontally across the ground. Climber plants find support by attaching themselves to stronger elements, for example, vines, tomatoes, and morning glories. Plants prepare their own food from air, water, and sunlight using a process called photosynthesis. Since leaves are the primary location for this process, they are commonly referred to as the food factory of the plant. Take a close look at a leaf. This intricate part of the plant or tree consists of a stalk called a petiole and a blade, which is a thin, flat, expanded part of the leaf. Leaves are typically green during the growing season, indicating the presence of chlorophyll. While the leaf is green or contains chlorophyll, it can manufacture food using the sun, water, and carbon dioxide. To obtain carbon, the leaf takes in carbon dioxide gas in the air through tiny openings called stomata, or pores, located on the underside of the leaf. The two types of seed-producing plants are non-flowering and flowering. Non-flowering plants can include ferns, algae, grass, and some weeds. Flowering plants include roses, jasmine, tulips, trees, and wildflowers. Plants on the ground, such as watermelon or pumpkin, may also have flowers that turn into fruit or vegetables. Inside the fruit and vegetables are seeds. The seeds are dispersed into the environment when the fruit is ingested or eaten by an animal and discarded through their waste. Then, through germination, the seeds have the opportunity to start a new plant that is just like the parent plant. Engineers take advantage of the natural characteristics and processes of the plant in many applications. All our forests and parks keep the air and water of the planet in good health, which is why they are often called the lungs of the earth. We all know that trees help purify the air by absorbing pollutants, but they also reduce the amount of pollutants in sewer systems and the amount of waterborne pollutants that reach streams and rivers. In this same way, all types of plants can be used to clean dirty air and water, since they take in the air and water around them through their leaves and roots, and release clean water and air back into our atmosphere. Engineers incorporate plants into water treatment processes at factories and industrial facilities. It is common for engineers to include tiny plants and human-made lagoons and wetlands in municipal biological water treatment processes. One company even designed a series of engineered ecosystems at a highway rest area using plants, insects, snails, and worms to clean the wastewater and recycle it back into the restrooms to flush the toilets. Phytoremediation is an engineered use of green plants to remove or render harmless soil or water contaminants, including heavy metals, trace elements, organic compounds, and radioactive compounds, or even suspended solids in stormwater runoff. Since the 1990s, phytoremediation has been tested at over 200 sites nationwide. It is a low-tech and low-cost natural process cleanup technology. Some engineers have planted fast-growing trees with deep roots to clean up contaminated soil and groundwater. Others have reintroduced native shrubs and grasses at former mine and mill sites to clean up contaminated soil and groundwater when processing chemicals were discharged into tailings piles and unlined ponds. The purpose of roadside landscaping is to treat storm water runoff before it enters a community's storm drain. Trees and vegetation clean and absorb stormwater and prevent erosion and landslides. The vegetation removes suspended solids, salts, oil, snow removal chemicals, and other wastes from cars, keeping this pollution from entering the storm drains. Engineers also creatively use plants to design eco-friendly green products. Examples can include everything from products made from recycled materials to bamboo floors to kitchen cabinets made from wheat straw and sunflower seed husks to many other types of plant-based building materials. Engineers have mimicked photosynthesis in their invention of solar panel cells that capture sunlight as a renewable source of energy. Now, thank you for joining me again for this week's lesson. Please like and subscribe to our YouTube channel, and don't forget to watch Miss Amy's Story Time. Thank you, and have a good day.